Oh, I think I'm recording. Am I recording? I am. I think I'm live. It's kind of lagging. Anyways, I'm on YouTube if nothing else. This is considered day 4 and 5 of the power of the subconscious mind. So I will do some heavy reading today. I love this last part of the power of the subconscious mind. And I need to make sure. Here I am. Yes, it is here. We left off on day 3. So like I said, this will be day 4 and 5 considered. I know it's Saturday, but anyways. We left off on the 7 positive emotions, 7 major positive emotions, and the 7 major negative emotions. And we were talking about how we have to keep constantly positive things in our mind. Yes, negative things happen, and we will deal with those. Those are inevitable. But if we really want to focus and have good things surrounding us and good emotions, we have just as much energy to put our attention on the good things as the bad things. And it says only by following these instructions literally and continuously can you gain control over your subconscious mind. The presence of a single negative in your conscious mind is sufficient to destroy all chances of constructive aid from your subconscious mind. A single negative thought. Think about I have a lot of actors on here. I was just talking to one last night. He did so good. He was so happy. He was so confident, had a great day. Took one comment. Hi, Mom. Took one comment to just shatter him. Think about that. If you went out and you had a wonderful night and you looked good and you felt good and everybody was complimenting you and you just really felt good, but one person said and gave you a look, if you went home and you weren't strong, having a strong day, and I'm talking about myself too, that one negative comment or that one person in a bad mood would have stuck out. That's what I fight against. I try not to, and I'm pretty good now, but I have my days. I'm not perfect. We grow every single day. I was just journaling about this. I was sharing that, wow, I know what to do. I know how to think. We all do. But there's that knowing, doing gap. We know something, but we don't do it. Why? That is my life's work, my friends. So it goes to say that just one negative thought can destroy all the good ones. That's how powerful. But I heard something else. We become what we think about most of the time. We become what we think about most of the time. So what do we think about most of the time? That kind of relieved me, like, oh, I don't have to be perfect. And of course, it's natural for things to happen. Life happens. We're not going to be perfect. It's not an all or nothing. I think a lot of people approach this, personal development work or even religious type stuff. I can't be perfect. So why do it? You throw it all out. You throw the baby out with the bathwater. But if most of the time, I would say 60-40. If 60% you're positive, that's going to push out the 40. I mean, try to get, a balance there. I would say I would like to get 70-30. 70% good, 30% I'm human. There's no enlightened masters that I know of right now walking the earth. I mean, people who I follow, my mentors are pretty close. My mentor is Bob Proctor. He's doing it for 60 years. I share this funny story. I'm going to post this video one day. He's been studying personal development, the mind, for 60 years. And he's been reading Think and Grow Rich for 60 years every day. That's where I got my repetition from. And he was saying the other day, it was probably about 5 months ago. He's like, you guys, I've been studying this for 60 years and I still have that little bitch inside that tells me, who do you think you are? Why are you still doing this? You're 86 years old. You don't have to do this. There is that little voice that tries to hold us back. When we have a thought to do something or a desire, a true desire, everything that comes after but is the why not. It's the comfort zone trying to keep you back. Growth is out of your comfort zone and it sucks. It super, super sucks. But if we want to get somewhere, we got to do it. If you are an observing person, you must notice that most people resort to prayer only after everything else has failed. I've been guilty of that. or else they pray by a ritual of meaningless words. And because it is a fact that most people who pray do so only after everything else has failed, they go to prayer with their minds filled with fear and doubt, which are the emotions the subconscious mind acts upon, right? Whatever we're thinking, it's CBT, cognitive behavioral therapy. We think, we feel, and then we act on those feelings because of the thoughts. It's a cycle. It's how it works with everybody, every single person. So we go to prayer after everything has failed, which are the emotions. We go into prayer with the emotions, the negative emotions of fear and doubt. And that passes on to infinite intelligence or God or whatever you're praying to. Likewise, that is the emotion which infinite intelligence or God receives and acts upon. Our negative emotions. If you pray for a thing but have fear as you pray that you may not receive it. So if you pray and then you fear right when you're praying that you might not get it, or the advice you're seeking, or the discernment that you're looking for, that you're not going to get it, you're never going to get it right, or that your prayer, or that God won't help you, or infinite intelligence won't act upon your prayer will have been in vain. If you pray for a thing but have fear as you pray that you may not receive it, or that your prayer will be acted, or your prayer will not be acted upon by infinite intelligence, your prayer will have been in vain. Prayer does sometimes result in the realization of that for which one prays. If you have ever experienced receiving that for which you've prayed, go back to your memory and recall your actual state of mind while you were praying, and you will know for sure that the theory here described is more than just a theory. Absolutely. I was just having a conversation today. When I don't consistently, with faith, pray or ask for guidance, even if it's just daily guidance, like what should I do? Is this right? Should I go through with this? When I'm trying to control everything, I don't get the right answer and it doesn't feel good. I'm not at peace. And I think for me, I think it's for everybody, but peace is that feeling when I know what I should do or shouldn't do, or just stay still, sleep on it when I don't feel at peace. And I have had those prayers where, oh my God, I don't care. Nobody could prove it but me. I know that they work for sure. Crazy things a few times. The time will come when the schools and educational institutions of the country will teach the science of prayer. This was written 100 years ago. Moreover, the prayer may be and will be reduced to a science. Yes, when the time comes, it will come as soon as mankind is ready for it and demands it. I don't think we're there yet. No one will approach the universal mind in a state of fear for the very good reason that there will be no such emotion as fear. Ignorance, superstition, and false teaching will have disappeared, and man will have attained his true status as a child of infinite intelligence. If you have already attained this blessing. Yeah, this was written over 100 years ago, and we definitely aren't there yet. I mean, a lot of people have been brought to their knees and brought back to church and brought back to prayer and meditation and going inside and getting quiet and therapy even. We've all been forced inside. And we have to have something to hold on to. Even if we just with our higher selves, connecting with that inner self, getting quiet and listening to the inner voice, that still small voice. If you believe this prophecy, his prophecy of one day people will demand this, is far-fetched, take a look at the human race in retrospect. Less than 100 years ago, and this was 100 years ago, 200 years ago, men believed the lightning to be evidence of the wrath of God and feared it. You know, a lot of things back in the day, like the witch trials and stuff. I mean, these women were practicing types of healing and medicine that are on the corners of every day today, and they were getting burned at the stakes and saying that they were witches. Anybody who didn't conform or fear or did anything new or outside of the box. So yeah, they thought lightning, they didn't understand what it was. Can you imagine living back? Like we talk about the earth being flat. People thought that until we had more knowledge and understanding. So superstition and ignorance is really what leads to fear. So less than, 200 years ago now, they believed that lightning to be the evidence of the wrath of God and feared it. Now, thanks to the power of faith, men have harnessed the lightning and made it turn into the wheels of industry. Now we harness electricity. It's all around us, everywhere. Much less than 100 years ago, 200 years ago, men believed that space between the planets to be nothing but a great void, a stretch of dead nothingness, just black space. Now we know it as dark matter, which makes up most of the universe. It is dense and it is real and it is powerful, but we don't know what it is. Now, thanks to the same power of faith, men know that far from being either dead or void, the space between the planets, it's very much alive. That is the highest form of vibration known, excepting perhaps the vibration of thought. Moreover, men know that this living, pulsating, vibratory energy, which permeates every atom of matter and fills every niche of space, connects every human brain with every other human brain. We've talked about this before. When you're really connected with someone, you can finish their thought. You know what they're thinking. When you're really in tune, when you're really connected with people, or you're surrounded by like minds, you can really hook up. Like we talk about lifting up the hoods of the car and hooking up and getting that energy and that power. And you can tell when someone's in a bad mood. You can walk in a room and you can tell if something's not right. That's the sixth sense we were talking about. What reason have men to believe that this same energy does not connect every human brain with infinite intelligence? There are no toll gates. There are no fees. There's no barrier between the finite mind of man and infinite intelligence. The communication costs nothing except patience, faith, persistence, understanding, and a sincere desire to communicate. They use a great analogy here. Moreover, the approach can be made only by the individual himself, herself, theirselves. Paid prayers are worthless. Infinite intelligence does no business by proxy. You either go direct or you do not communicate. You may buy prayer books and repeat them until the day of your doom without avail. Thoughts which you wish to communicate to infinite intelligence must undergo transformation, such as can be given only through your own subconscious mind. And we are also individual. We can ask people for advice. We can go to, clergy people of our church and ask. But at the end of the day, it is us, me, myself, and I come into this world alone, I die alone. It's up to me to figure it out. I can't copy anybody. I have to learn it on my own. The method by which you may communicate with infinite intelligence is very similar to that through which the vibration of sound is communicated by radio. Just like we haven't even really accepted this. I mean, I have personally, that I feel I have connection. I believe in the power of prayer and connecting through an energy that I can't see to a higher intelligence, something greater than I am. I believe that. And it's just the equivalent of before we had a conductor, a radio to pick up the waves, before we had the towers or whatever to have the phone cables, wireless, internet. These things were always here. We just didn't have the awareness. Like back in the day, there was Wi-Fi everywhere. There was Wi-Fi everywhere thousands of years ago. But they didn't have the computers. They didn't have the machines. They didn't have the awareness. They didn't have the demand, the understanding. And if we think about ourselves, he's saying his prediction is the future. We will understand how, I don't know how, but it'll be a science, the connection between our subconscious minds and the infinite intelligence, all of that space, the unknown matter that surrounds us, that is pulsating, that exists in all of us, that vibrates in a rock. Everything's alive. So it says the method by which you may communicate with infinite intelligence is very similar to that through which a vibration of sound is communicated by radio. If you understand the working principle of radio, you, of course, know that sound cannot be communicated through the ether until it has been stepped up or changed into a rate of vibration which the human ear cannot detect. The radio sending station picks up the sound of the human voice and scrambles or modifies it by stepping up the vibration millions of times. Only in this way can the vibration of sound be communicated through the ether. So it has to go through something like it's like a reader. Only in this way can the vibration of sound be communicated through the ether. After this transformation has taken place, the ether picks up the energy, which originally was in the form of vibrations of sound, carries that energy to radio receiving stations, and these receiving sets step that energy back down into its original rate of vibration, so it is recognized as sound. That's what our ears do. And that's what our eyes do when we see. All of these senses, they are, oh my gosh, this is some deep stuff. The way we pick up vision, like it bounces back off the back of our retina. I'm not sure how this works, but you know what I mean. It's like a camera lens. We're just seeing a projection. And we say things moving in constant time. But really our eye is like a very fast moving camera film. Like I think we talked about this before, how you flip a animation really, really fast. That's what's going on in front of us all the time. And if there was a skip in the track, that would be creepy, huh? The subconscious mind is the intermediary which translates one's prayers into terms which infinite intelligence can recognize, presents the message, and brings back the answer in the form of a definite plan or idea for procuring the object of the prayer. Think of yourself as a radio, and think of infinite intelligence or God as the subconscious mind, and the ether as the transmitter. And by using our subconscious mind with feeling, with belief, with persistence, faith, desire, focusing on what we want and transmuting that into the ether, and then the answer will be returned back to us from whatever you believe is larger than us. Understand this principle and you will know why mere words read from a prayer book cannot and will never serve as an agency of communication between the mind of man and infinite intelligence. Before your prayer will reach infinite intelligence, a statement of the author's theory only, so Napoleon Hill, it probably is transformed from its original thought vibration into terms of spiritual vibration. Faith is the only known agency which will give your thoughts a spiritual nature. Faith and fear make poor bedfellows. Where one is found, the other cannot exist. Faith and fear cannot exist at the same time. Faith and fear both require that you believe in something that you cannot see. It takes the same energy to have faith or to have fear in something. There's so many good quotes on fear. And worry. Worry is negative goal setting. Worry is praying for what you don't want. Fear and faith both require that you believe in something that hasn't happened yet. This is a long reading session. I hope you enjoyed this. Hi, Tanya. You're an angel. Mom, I can't even with you right now. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed that. This was consider day 4 and 5. I've been very busy, but I am still trucking on this citadel. We have 2 more weeks left. 2 more weeks left. We will focus on the 12th and the 13th and last principle. which are, so next week we're going to be talking about the 12th step toward riches, the brain, the broadcasting and receiving station for thought, kind of what we just talked about right now. So that'll be next week. Then the last week, the 13th step toward riches, the sixth sense, the door to the temple of wisdom. And then I'm going to do weekly classes for 4 weeks through March. It's going to be Motivational March, and we're going to work on goals. I know I mean, I'm going to continue teaching on all kinds of stuff, but it's going to be a Zoom class you can take part of once a week, and we're going to teach, I'm going to teach, and we're going to work together, all of us, on how to set a goal. And we're going to talk affirmations and just where our thought pattern needs to be. If you're interested, please message me with your email. I will add you to the list. I already have 2 or 3 people. It could be intimate. There might be 5 of us, 10 of us, 2 of us. I don't know. I don't care. But I'll be there on Zoom and you can be there with me. So just let me know. I'm excited. I will see you all on Monday for the 12th step toward riches.